A call for a national drought policy to deal with water scarcity. And in sports, St. Catherine sweep the Oba zone at Knapsack.
Credible, balanced, committed. This is the CBC Evening News.
Very good evening to you. I'm Lisa Broom with the CBC Evening News. People who have mosquitoes breeding on their premises have been issued with a warning from the Environmental Health Department. Keep your surroundings clean or face legal action. Acting Chief Environmental Health Officer Desmond King says his department is ramping up its mosquito eradication program in response to the Zika virus. Shane Seeley has that story.
It's findings like these that are prompting the Environmental Health Department to get tough with homeowners and businesses. This mosquito breeding site was found in Spikestown this morning as the department launched its arboviral disease eradication program to destroy the Aedes aegypti mosquito. They've deployed 70 health inspectors who have been told to suspend most of their other duties to focus on this initiative. Chief Environmental Health Officer Desmond King says he's given his inspectors the order to adopt a zero-tolerance approach with householders who are repeat offenders.
We have been for years telling persons what to do, and oftentimes you find persons are breeding mosquitoes, are complaining about mosquitoes, and the mosquitoes that we are finding are on their property. In a way forward, one of our strategies to get persons to comply would be the prosecution arm of our regulation. The regulations are there, mosquito regulation and also the nuisance regulation. And I will encourage my officers where there is consistent breeding on any property to test it in court.
Now the inspectors will be going door to door over a 3-month period. Principal Environmental Health Officer Ronald Chapman, who is spearheading the initiative, says a special effort will be made to inspect what they call closed houses.
What we will be doing, we'll be leaving a calling card at those persons' houses, letting them know that we would have passed and that they can get in contact with us so we can send an inspector back to their homes for an inspection. What we're going to also do is to have a recheck team. So you're going to have the inspectors go out now, you're going to have the fogging machine after that, and then we're going to send a small recheck team that will go back. And those houses that are closed, depending on what is going on around them, we will assess the level of risk. For example, if your next door neighbor's house is closed and we are getting mosquitoes you're getting mosquitoes at your house, but we can't find them at your house, then obviously that house represents a risk and we're going to go back there.
And the department is hoping to have its inspectors visit nearly every home in Barbados twice, all part of the effort to dent the mosquito population and curb the spread of the Zika virus. Shane Seeley, CBC News.
A major change is coming for Barbadians and visitors entering and leaving the island with effect from April 1st. The Immigration Department has announced that it will be implementing a system where everyone entering or departing Barbados will be required to be fingerprinted. According to Chief Immigration Officer Ernie Griffith, this will be followed later this year with a measure to facially scan passengers. She revealed that the only exemptions to these regulations will be holders of diplomatic passports and children under the age of 16. The Chief Immigration Officer said the security measures will bring Barbados in line with international ports of entry and are mandatory under the Immigration Biometrics Regulation 2015. Ms. Griffith has therefore urged the cooperation of the travelling public, explaining that the Immigration Department is seeking to ensure the safety of all who use Barbados's ports of entry. A sheep farmer is dealing with the devastation of an attack on his sheep by dogs. Officials at the St. George farm say their losses keep mounting after what is now the 3rd attack on their flock.
The dog, or possibly dogs, came like the proverbial thief in the night, or in the early hours of the morning, as estimated by vet Dr. Terence Mears. When it was over, more than 30 sheep were ravaged, the pieces left to be picked up by the owner and staff at Green Thumb Maintenance Sheep Farm in Salter, St. George. This is the 3rd time in 3 weeks. Dr. Mears believes at least one dog was responsible for this latest attack.
We have puncture wounds, we have lacerations, We have some deep scratches, a lot of soft tissue damage. We have, in the worst cases, we have some ears removed and some damage testes and so on some of the rams. So my main concern right now is the animals that are gravely injured, as well as some of the other animals that are pregnant, because they might abort. So the owner has to look out for that. So he has some good losses here today.
The vet says 8 sheep were treated, and up to the time of this interview, about 18 still had to be seen. Some could not be saved and had to be put down. Office manager Cheryl Pierce confirms that this was not the first of these types of attacks, and it came despite the owner, who did not want to speak on camera, taking extra measures to secure the farm's boundaries and ensuring the sheep were locked up at night.
On the 28th of January, we had 3 sheep that died, 1 lamb, 1 goat, and 2 chickens. Okay, the second attack we had, which was on the 2nd of February, 3 sheep died on that first attack, along with 13 that were injured. On the 3rd, we lost 8 sheep. On the 4th, we lost 4 sheep again. On the 8th, we lost 1 sheep and 1 lamb.
Ms. Pierce estimates that they lost about $3,500 worth of animals in the first 2 attacks, while the figures for this last one still had to be tallied.
A St. Michael man is to appear in the District A Magistrates Court tomorrow, charged with possession of marijuana and cocaine valued in excess of $1 million. He is 45-year-old Kelvin Ricardo Callender of Wilde Terrace. Police say a search warrant was executed by its K9 unit at the residence of Callender on Valentine's Day. That search, lawmen say, revealed 20.9 kilos of cocaine valued at $1,045,000. It was discovered under the cellar of the house. Lawmen say a search was also conducted of Callender's vehicle, and 183 grams of cannabis was discovered hidden inside. He was subsequently charged for possession with intent to supply, and trafficking both cocaine and marijuana. Time for a break now, but we'll have more news just after. Stay with us.
Everybody smile, 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 smile. Show your teeth, why don't you? Milk, Pine Hill milk. Sun power on water system.
I had some problems with my solar water heater. The collector was leaking. I called the original agency. I said, well, they can't do anything about it because the system is bad and they will have to install a new system. I didn't hear back from them. Then I called Sun Power. For me, I went to Monday, paid some money, and by Thursday it was on.
Get your Sun Power.
Ready, set, let's go. It's School Sports 2016, the fastest half hour on TV. Tune in to see our athletes in full stride. We even take a look at some of the athletes of yesteryear. Where are they now? Tune in to CBC TV 8 on Thursdays 6 p.m. to 6:30 p.m. with a repeat on Saturdays at 12 noon. School Sports 2016 with me, Anne-Marie Burke. Don't you miss it.
Coming this Monday on TV8.
Beauty's not enough. Don't rely on your beauty. You need more. You're gorgeous, but at the end of the day, you need to charm the client.
This week is a double elimination, which means 2 of you go home and 2 of you continue on this crazy, amazing journey to become the Caribbean's next top model.
A local agriculturalist supports a proposed fat tax for Barbados. Chief Executive Officer of the Barbados Agricultural Society, James Paul, believes it would encourage more people to eat a lot healthier while discouraging them from buying the more fatty foods. Mr. Paul was speaking at the Democratic Labour Party's Christchurch South branch meeting at St. Lawrence Primary School last evening. There, he went on to express concern about the foods that people now consider staples, using the popular ramen as an example.
That somehow has seeped into the diet of Barbadians. And I hear people speak about it as if it is a staple, and it is bothersome. When you have foods such as these, that we are not sure about the nutritious benefits of those foods, that Barbadians are now taking and making their staple foods. It is bothersome. We've gone bad enough with the macaroni and cheese thing, but we've gone to ramen.
More Barbadians now trust Crime Stoppers as a tool to report crime. So says Julie Dash, chairman of Crime Stoppers in Barbados and for the region. Her assessment is based on the number of tips Crime Stoppers receives.
Crime Stoppers is definitely improving every year. More and more tips, more and more people are beginning to trust the programme. Crime Stoppers has been is in over 20 countries for 40 years, and it is a fantastic programme that is anonymous, that people can call and will not be identified and give evidence to the Royal Barbados Police Force.
Meanwhile, Police Public Relations Officer, Acting Assistant Superintendent David Welch, believes more community involvement would help to weed out the criminal element.
I believe that if you come together within your community, fix these problems, engage your energies to a more positive direction, I believe that could help in solving crime. Not only that, but we have everyone in every community, we have hundreds and hundreds of pairs of eyes. Report what you see. You have Crime Stoppers, report it anonymously, and we will do the rest from there.
Acting ASP Welch and Ms. Dash spoke to the media at the launch of a community outreach project by the Regional Police Training Centre. It provided assistance to 20 needy households in St. Philip, Christchurch, St. John and St. George. New entrants at the American University of Barbados School of Medicine have been advised to develop positive attitudes and habits that will help to propel their careers. The advice comes from Surgeon Dr. Christopher Warner as he delivered the feature address at the university's White Coat ceremony over the weekend. He told the 32 new students to become good listeners, network with professionals by attending conferences, and be mindful of their deportment.
As young people, you want to have swagger, move with the trends, and I understand this. But remember, this is truly a profession where the clothes can make a man. Patients today are still influenced by the doctor in the whitest coat, the one with the gentlest voice, the kindest touch, the one who took time to listen to their deepest fears about their health.
The Caribbean Institute of Meteorology and Hydrology wants a national drought policy implemented. That's because Barbados is now on a drought warning. Denise Blackman has the details. Well, travel among Barbadians might be common, but certain destinations are more popular than others. This week, CBC examines the road less traveled as we continue to celebrate Black History Month. Just ahead, stories making headlines across the region. Stay with us.
Attention! No sticks, no stones can break my bones when I'm drinking. Extreme Crazy Eights has joined the family with 18 chances to win on every ticket. Top prize of $108,000. New bonus play area and thousands of prizes to be won.
Solo Apple J, the champagne of soft drinks.
Why advertise with the Barbados Yellow Pages? Get the facts. There are over 190,000 books distributed island-wide annually. Over 5 million online searches annually. Access to Google-certified experts to manage your SEM campaigns. The only multimedia company with solutions to market your business through print, online, and mobile platforms. The facts are clear. Your business needs to be listed in the
Police in Trinidad are investigating a young mother's appeal for help posted on Facebook. The 28-year-old woman said she has endured severe domestic abuse for the past 12 years, and it started shortly after she was married at 16. Early on Saturday morning, the woman posted photographs on Facebook showing bruises, cuts, and a bloodshot eye she allegedly sustained last week at the hands of a close male relative. She says the public cry for help via social media over the weekend was due to her frustration. The young woman has a 7-year-old daughter and 5-year-old son. Police are expected to interview her to determine if she plans to press charges. Over in Jamaica, the Jamaica Labour Party has raised concerns about a report it says was aired on Radio Jamaica, indicating that leader Andrew Holness was being investigated by state agencies. They say there is no investigation into Mr. Holness's affairs. A release from the party states that the leader is current with all his statutory and fiduciary reports as mandated by law. JLP General Secretary Dr. Horace Chang says they're very surprised by the news report and hope the station has not been consumed by the web of lies being spun by the People's National Party. The JLP is asking for the story to be withdrawn, noting that it takes the reputation of its leader and his family very seriously. Over in Guyana, salary negotiations for public servants was one of the issues touched on during debate on the budget. The government says it's committed to the process, while the opposition contends that the workers should ask for a 50% pay increase.
Looking at increases for public servants, Minister Harman reiterated what was stated in the budget speech by the Finance Minister, whereby public servants have to await the conclusion of discussions with the relevant unions. Minister Harman is asking that public servants give the collective bargaining process an opportunity to work.
Mr. Speaker, this is what the unions want. This is what the unions demand. And as a person connected in the past to the Guyana Public Service Union, I can say without a doubt that this has been a source of frustration for the union.
Leader of the opposition, Bar Jagdeo, in his presentation said the opposition is glad that the government has reintroduced collective bargaining. Jagdeo wants the union to make the best of the process.
And I hope that the public service unions will request at least a 50% increase in wages and salaries, because